Well, good morning. Welcome to Thoughts Can Change Your Life with me, Reverend Wolak. We're here each and every day at 8 a.m. for your viewing and listening pleasure. And we come together and we explore new ideas, we explore new thoughts, we explore things that cause us to expand our mind. And every day I normally take a thought that I've had that morning, my thought for the day that I put out, and I talk about that for a while. But today's going to be a little bit different. It's going to be a little bit different because I've had someone who's written me with a bunch of questions. And so I thought that today I would look at those questions and offer a perspective. I don't have all the right answers. I don't think anyone has the right answers. I believe only you have the right answers for you, and I only have the right answers for me. So I'm going to talk about these questions and see what we can do. And if you want to comment and give me your opinions, I love that. I love that. I would love to hear your opinions. The first question that was given was, do all religions, Buddhism, Christian, Muslim, Hindu, say about the same universal truth, becoming oneness? I think all of them talk about it in a different way. You may see that Christianity talks about love a lot. Love is oneness. I don't know how else to say that. That's what love is. Love is that connection of oneness. I think religions talk about oneness. I think they talk about love, but they also surround it with a lot of dogma. And the dogma is used to control the individuals. That's my perception. But at the basic core of it, every religion has in it, in maybe just slightly different words, but they have the same statement in all of their sacred texts. And that statement is, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. That's interesting, isn't it? Same exact statement in all of the major, I think it's like 12 or 13 religions. So I know that oneness or love is a part of all of them. But what's happened is humans have put a dogma around it. They put judgment around it. You see, you can't have judgment and oneness in the same sentence. They don't go together. Oneness, love, they go together. Judgment doesn't go with either of them. So I use that as that perspective. Second question is, if a person could see a glimpse of total oneness, couldn't it be advantageous to understanding this oneness in the universe? Good question. But here's the thing I'm going to say to you about that. They say in the question, if we could get a glimpse of oneness, in other words, we're trying to use the human senses. And you see, that's the limiting factor right there. To get the experience of oneness, it cannot be experienced with the human senses. That's ego. That's the body sensing things. So if you listen to the great masters through the years, what the masters will tell you is that the point of consciousness between thoughts is where the divine exists. The point between the inhale and the exhale is where the divine is. In other words, the divine does not know contrast. Therefore, the divine, to get a glimpse of contrast, would mean to be that you meld into the oneness, which you can do. You can do that in nature. You can do that in meditation. You meld into the oneness. But here's the best I've got on that. You don't know you're there until you come out. You don't know you've been in the oneness till you come out and you're back in contrast. Because if you're not in contrast, how do you know where you are? You don't. And that's why in meditation, there's only glimpses of that aspect. Number 3, is it good to use psychedelics, for example, DMT, to see God temporarily? Well, first off, we come back to the idea, can't see God. It's impossible. That's the senses trying to see something that's impossible to see. DMT, for those of you who don't know it, that's the chemical that's in ayahuasca. Ayahuasca is the most powerful natural hallucinogenic that we're aware of on the planet. It's used in ceremonies in South America and now spreading around the world. They actually take the leaves of one plant and the bark of a tree, they blend it together, and when you drink it, you have an experience where you lose control of your conscious mind and your subconscious mind plays out. And it plays out for 6 to 8 hours, depending on the dosage. And whatever's in your subconscious mind plays out. You have no control. You say, Lee, how do you know that? Well, I've done it. Is it an experience of the divine? I don't think it's an experience of the divine. I think it's an experience of a greater use of our imagination, a greater outpicturing of what our imagination can create. So does it create new possibilities, new ways of looking at things? Yeah. Does it bring out ideas of things that might still need to be healed? Yeah. But does it bring you an experience of the divine? I don't think so. Because the divine, again, there's no contrast in there. Now, science is thinking that there might be benefits to using DMT to help people who are struggling with mental situations that they're dealing with. They think that that might help. If somebody's married and making goals, couple goals for life, isn't it possible to go in this path? Or is it very hard to see God or become one with nature? Let's face it. We're here to experience life. And I'm married, been married a long time, in my 49th year of marriage. And we have goals, and we share those goals. But at the same time, we give each other freedom. Freedom to be our unique and authentic selves. See, that's what love is about. A true relationship based in love is that you've given the other person the freedom to be themselves, to express an experience. And what you do is you build agreements. I'm going to probably be offering a relationship workshop, maybe in a month and a half. I'll do that one free online. I'll announce it with plenty of time to get you more into that. Is meditating required definitely to shut out the ego? Can we practice day-to-day focusing as a practice? Sure, you can use focus. Just focus on a candlelight. Focus on the flame of a candle. That's a form of meditation. One focus stops the mind chatter. For me, the best thing to stop the mind chatter, to come out of the ego, is to go into meditation. I don't know of any better practice in everything that I've done. What is spiritual growth level you have achieved? Spiritual growth for me is the idea of, can I live my life more aware? How aware am I? Am I attached to a one-sided life? Am I attached to being happy all the time? That's impossible. Being happy all the time, that's nonsense. That's the opioid of the masses that we've been domesticated into believing that it's possible to be happy all the time. And that's why we have so much depression in the world. It's just such an unrealistic expectation. And all depression is the fact that we're trying to live up to unrealistic expectations, either that have been set by ourselves or by others, and we can't possibly achieving them. So the brain wires that, oh my God, I can't get it, depressed. When in fact, the best thing we can do is to see that life is always in balance. As much as we're challenged, we're supported. As much as we're supported, we're challenged. You could say it, as much good as you experience from something, there's as much the opposite of that we experience. I experienced a lot of greatness in my relationship, and there's the other side of that coin as well. Can we gain a growth in spiritual development by reading spiritual books, or it's not enough to see a practical way? Information is wonderful, but information doesn't give you the experience. The only way you see growth is through experience, and that's through the practice. It's the practice of meditating. It's the practice of gratitude. It's the practice of creating absolutely creating. The practice of creating is the greatest one. And most people forget that. If you haven't been listening to my talk series, I started it Sunday on how to use the science of mind. I'm going into 10 weeks of getting deep into the science of mind, which is the basis of everything I teach. Ernest Holmes assimilated all the great teachings from science, philosophy, religion, psychology, and put it into this thing he called the science of mind. I think it's the best thing out there. I think when I explain it, I'm going to use a lot of Ernest, but I'm going to give you a Lee twist on it. And so you can decide for yourself how that works for you. Next question. Is fate, karma, 100% accurate? Are the tsunami, corona deaths happen by each individual's own karma, or it just happened by accident? First off, I don't believe in fate. Because if you believe in fate, then you have no freedom. I believe in every moment we are free to choose to think a new thought. And as we think new thoughts, we build a new mental atmosphere. As we build a new mental atmosphere, that power that creates, that we in religious science call the law, takes that mental impress and bursts it in us. So I don't believe in fate. Do I believe in the law of cause and effect? Yes, what you put out comes back to you. Comes back to you without a doubt. Corona deaths. Tsunami. I think there's this thing called the law of averages. The law of averages is that where you live, there is a collective consciousness. Your family as a group has a consciousness. And that consciousness, depending on how aware you are, influences you. So if you have a consciousness that you fear something, if you fear a disease, let's say you fear corona, your consciousness opens up to attracting that disease. What I suggested at the beginning of this virus was this: focus on health. What can you do to create your perfect healthy body? Do you have all the vitamins and minerals that your body needs to be healthy? Do you meditate daily? Are you minimizing stress in your life? It's been shown that stress weakens the immune system and is the cause. Stanford did a study, 85 to 90% of most illnesses are caused as a result of stress having weakened our immune system. Are you taking care of that? Are you exercising? Are you laughing? Are you living fully? Do you have a reason to live in your life? I believe you can take power back and you will not be affected. Here's the other thing that I said the other day. I was really clear about this as I was talking. When the soul looks at the body and the body is no longer serving the soul's ability to grow in its level of awareness of the infinite, the soul releases the body to move on. So will we ever know why an individual moves on, leaves their body? No. Only their soul knows, and we can't know their souls from the human perspective. Yeah. I've given you a lot to think about today, and I want to tell you, I see all of you out there commenting. I'm grateful that you're out there. Keshav is trying to control his mind. Keshav, you can't control your mind. Your mind, as long as you're alive, you're going to have an ego. What you do is you manage your mind. You manage your mind by going into meditation every day, which calms it. Number two, you build a unconscious pattern of thinking by using affirmations to create the underlying pattern. I do 30 affirmations, at least 22 times each, every day, building up my thought patterns. So that when I'm unconscious, the thought patterns I'm thinking are ones I've implanted in it. But with that, I have really spent a lot of time today in this. It's supposed to be 8 to 10 minutes. I'm already on almost 15. I want to tell you what. Thank you. If you have questions, do like this person did. Send me the questions. I'll be happy to talk about them because it's all about you. I want you to know that if no one tells you this, I will. I love you and I accept you just like you are today. Go create your best day ever. Aloha, everybody. Bye-bye.